Hello, today I am coming to you from l'église or la Chapelle Saint-Ferréol. And I'm doing a walk-along video. It's a little bit late. I'm here trying to see if this is a good place for me to watch the solar eclipse that's going to happen on Wednesday. And while I walk around and show you a little bit of the place, I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to think about this question. What are you tolerating? What are you tolerating? All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. I am Patricia Brooks. I'm an American who moved to France in 2018. And now I help people live the kind of lives they know they were meant to in a foreign country. And on my channel, I share content about living in France, about moving abroad, and how to live the kind of life you know you're meant to. And today, I'm going to be talking about tolerating. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Now, when I was going through coach training back in 2015, my coach trainer asked the question, what are you tolerating? And the first thing that came to mind for me was that I was tolerating my job. I was very frustrated at not feeling like I was appreciated. I was tired of the work that I was doing, and I was ready for a change. But I wasn't doing anything about it because, you know what? I'd been to many of the companies around town and been back to some of them, and I couldn't find what I was looking. So I just thought, I'm just going to have to accept what I've got going on here. And so that's what I did. I accepted. I tolerated. I went along to go along. I accepted something that didn't feel right to me because I didn't know that there was anything else that I could do. I thought this was as good as it was going to get. But in 2017, decided that I was ready to not tolerate, that I was ready to do something different, that I was ready to live in France. Now, in 2015, I had the idea. 2016, I knew the place I wanted to move, but I wasn't really doing anything about it. In 2017, January 2017, I said, enough. I'm not tolerating this anymore. And that's what this question will do for you. It will let you know what you are no longer willing to tolerate. And I wasn't willing to tolerate staying in the country or staying at that job. So I hired a coach who helped me to get unstuck. She helped me to do the hard thing and look at my finances to see if I had what it took to live in France at least for 1 year. And so I gave her my word. Following session, I shared what I found out. And that helped me move forward. Turns out that I had enough to go for a few years. And that got me unstuck. That stopped me from tolerating. And that changed my life because now I'm living in a place that feels really good to me. And I'm doing work that I enjoy. Now, if you're somebody who is looking to make a move abroad, but feels a little bit stuck, then maybe getting a coach like me might be helpful. So that's tolerating. Now, there are a couple of other times in my life where I have tolerated and where I have unknowingly tolerated and not thinking that it was a big deal. Almost 2 years ago now, I had tried to do a transfer to a friend using the app Zelle or Zelly. And my bank, since it was the first time I was doing it, my bank was very cautious and they decided to block me out of my online account access. And when I called in to get it unblocked, they wouldn't do it. They said I needed to come into a branch. Now, this is one of the things that you might struggle with if you're living abroad and you have a bank account someplace else in another country, right? And I talked to several people and they gave me the same answer. You have to come into a branch, which is not something that I was able to do. So I did what they said. I called the automated line in order to get my bank account balance and my credit card balance. I paid my credit card by phone, the old-fashioned way. And there's the sunset. Don't know if the sun is going to be high enough for us to see the eclipse tomorrow. There are other people here who are checking it out too, so I'm going to ask them what they think. It's overcast, so it's really challenging. But at any rate, a couple months ago, even the phone system wasn't working, and I wanted to pay my bill. And so I called, and the woman on the other end of the line said, "Oh, I can give you access to your online account. I can get that back to you." I said, "Well, I don't know. I don't think so, because everybody's told me that I have to come in to a branch." And she said, "No, that's what I'm paid for." And so I said, begrudgingly, I said, "Okay, you think you can do it? Go ahead." You know what? 25 minutes later, I was logging into my online account after almost 2 years. And when I was in, it was like I won the lottery. It was incredible. It was not something that I expected to feel. And it was in that moment that I realized that I was tolerating not being able to get into my account. And the weight that came off of me made me realize it was a stressor. So tolerating something, even if you don't know it, is not very healthy for you. It's stressful and it wears on you. So I just had a conversation with somebody to see if he thought that this was, we would be okay with the sun and the eclipse on Wednesday. And this is about the right time. And the sun doesn't look like it's behind the mountains. It's just behind some clouds. So if Wednesday is clear, then this is a good place to watch it. If not, then we need to find someplace else. All right. Now, back to what I was talking about tolerating. So my bank account situation was so frustrating, and I was tolerating it. And had I decided to call 6 months after they locked me out to see, then I wouldn't have been tolerating for so long. But I didn't want to deal with being told no. And so I tolerated. Now, another instance where I tolerated something that's not such a big deal, but it was my printer. I bought an HP printer back in 2018 here so that I can print out all the paperwork that the French administration wants. And about 4 years ago, maybe 3.5 years ago, my printer started to work intermittently. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it was online, sometimes it was offline. And when it was offline, I couldn't figure out how to get it back online, right? So sometimes I was able to print what I needed, and other times I just made do without. If there was something I wanted to print out and have for a meeting, I would use my other phone. I would use my phone and read from there, right? I made do. When I would look on the internet, I'd look on YouTube to see how I could get my printer online so that I could print. I saw, you need to download a new driver, a print driver. And I was hesitant to do that because, well, if I do that, then I'm probably going to have to uninstall my printer, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to figure out how to reinstall it. So instead, I just made do and printed when it worked and didn't print when it didn't. And I'll tell you what, when it started not working longer than that, and I knew that my printer was not broken because I'd print out a test page and it printed perfectly, I decided I was going to try the print driver, adding a new print driver. And that's what I did. This was about 2 months ago, 3 months ago now. And I did, and then I tried to print something and it worked. And every time since I added this new print driver, my printer works. It was like a miracle. It was incredible. So I was tolerating that as well. Not as impactful as my bank account or tolerating living in a place that I didn't want to live. All right. So what are you tolerating? If you feel comfortable, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you don't, go ahead and write it in your journal, because getting it out of your head will give you some clarity. And it might make you realize that, you know what, I'm not tolerating this anymore. I'm going to get a solution. I'm going to have that conversation. I'm going to look for another job. I'm going to work with a coach to get unstuck so that I can finally make my move abroad, so that I can live how I'd like to live, so I can stop tolerating, so I can take the stress and pressure of living someplace that I don't want to live off. So what are you tolerating? What are you ready to no longer be tolerating? If living in a country that no longer suits you is something that you like to move through, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I offer a complimentary discovery call where we can talk about where you'd like to move, why you want to move there, what's holding you back, and if our working together could help you get there sooner and with more ease. Be sure to click the link in the description or overhead so that you can book your call with me. I so look forward to it. Now that is the end of this video from the Chapelle Saint-Ferréol. And I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit more of my world. That is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, subscribe, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.